It's another Monday here on the Brian's Big Movie Vlog. I have a little bit of news, not much to show for it, and then my main topic. And as always, we will get into all of that right after the opening credits. It is the final Monday in May, and time is flying. And it is not the final Monday in May. That's next week. This is the penultimate Monday in May. I should probably go back and redo that, but let's move forward. Some things have happened that are encouraging, and I will tell you about them. But just to set it up, I've been working on my film, technically. I have been gathering footage, although it's been very spaced out. But I've been working on my film longer than I've been shooting this vlog. So last year, in the early part of 2024, one of the ideas in my head was to reach out to a guy and his gym over in Eugene, Oregon, and some other names, some other people. But what I didn't have was, at that time, a way to really properly introduce myself. I have talked before about this 4-minute video that I am sending out to people. That's been on my mind for a year, and I just didn't have any content to put in it. It would have just been me talking, which would have been better than nothing. But I think the one I ended up with now that I've got 6 interviews, really helps make it more of an actual believable concrete project. This thing really is happening. It's not just part of Brian's wild imagination. Kind of helping remove the doubts that some people might have. Is this thing for real? What am I getting involved in? If I had even managed to send something out last year, I didn't really have the money or the time to travel to the people that I wanted to film. And so I would have spent, most of 2024 each month saying, oh, sorry, I'm not ready yet. So ended up kind of being for the best. But in order to prevent this project from stretching on until some of the people I've interviewed, maybe dead or their whole lifestyle changes, they can't work out anymore or whatever, I want it to be relevant to the people who are in it when it comes out. Obviously, time will pass even after it comes out. There's only so much we can do. We're all going to die eventually. But, so I don't want this to be a film where I'm still getting the primary content or even the bulk of the content in 2026. I'd like to have all the content and just be then in the process of editing it and refining it. From then on. By the time 2026 starts, I'd like to be entirely in post-production, if not nearly done. We'll see. Okay, all that to say, this past week, I did reach out to 3 of the 5 targets that I have, 3 of the 5 that I want to reach out to. And 2 of them I've heard back from, and both of them are good news. As always, as I've said before, my mentioning them here is not a guarantee that they will end up in the film. Circumstances may arise where plans change and they can't be in it. They may change their mind about being in it. They may, for whatever reason, decide to pull out. I'm not going to describe that. I'm not going to I will not be airing any dirty laundry in public. On this vlog, or really anywhere. On a total side note, now that any star in Hollywood can have an Instagram or a TikTok or whatever, or a Twitter/X, we're hearing way more about these people, and so many of them end up actually tanking the projects they're working on because they let the drama out. If there's any drama involved in the Better Body Starter Kit for Men, my goal is that you never know it, and that you just watch the final film and you enjoy the final film. So I'm going to mention names. If you find out later they're not in the final film, I'm not going to come on here and say, yeah, this guy, he totally backed out on me and ruined everything, or he thinks I'm a jerk. Or, we're not going there. So you'll be left to speculate, and that's on you. Okay. I should probably just make that a standing pledge so that I don't have to repeat it every time I mention names. But I know me. I like to cover all my bases every time. It's a bad habit. The first one that excites me is Mark Prickett. Mark came across a YouTube channel that I had going in 2012, back when I was really pushing to get in shape, and which I am now doing again for the purposes of this film and the fact that I'm getting older. Anyway, Mark came alongside, and he actually ended up giving me 7 months of free personal training in exchange for putting that footage on my YouTube channel, mentioning him positively, which was easy to do because I was very much appreciating all of his help, his knowledge, his pushing me. I reached a point where I was really looking up to him. A good day for me was when I went to work out with Mark, and at the end he said, "Good job." And then he had to leave off because it was free. It couldn't go on indefinitely. I get that. In 2017, he suggested trying out powerlifting, and he trained me in a basic powerlifting regimen there. So this past week, actually I mentioned it to him, I think 3 or 4 years ago, but this past week, I reached out to him saying, I'm ready to do this. Are you interested? Are you still interested in participating, in being interviewed, and going from there? And he said yes. So that is a go. As with anything I will mention today, I don't know when precisely, but that's the general concept is a go. And the other one is Aaron Orton over in Eugene, who is a natural bodybuilder. He insists on avoiding all steroids, all human growth hormones. He only participates in bodybuilding competitions that actually test for, I shouldn't put words in his mouth. I know some bodybuilders will only participate in that type of competition. I know he advocates for that. And he has a bodybuilding club, a group. They meet, they practice posing, they exchange tips. He teaches them what he knows. He leads them. He's the leader of this group. And I believe for that they have to be natural. He won't train a steroid user. All of that is, don't hold any of that to Aaron. All of that is what I gather from looking at his webpage and his Instagram. So it's on me if any of that information is not entirely accurate. But I can say with certainty he focuses on the natural bodybuilding. No steroids, nothing, no dangerous injections and things like that. I've known about him for about 20 years, but somebody reminded me of him a couple years ago when I was looking for natural bodybuilders to be a part of the film. And so I was finally able to reach out to him just last night. Just last night I sent him an email. He wrote back this morning basically saying yes. We are entering the very busy season for him and his competitors. Bodybuilding competitions have started. Some of the people I follow on Instagram have already been in some this year, and they will continue to be in some throughout the summer. Without turning this channel into a whole fitness thing, the summer is basically when a bodybuilder, he goes through the winter working on getting more size, more mass, and then into spring he starts burning off the fat so that you can see everything he's built, and then in the summer he competes. So that's the story there. Aaron said basically yes, we will have to work around his busy schedule and the schedules of any bodybuilders who are interested. But the idea will be that sometime this summer, when I have the budget to afford taking the time off work, I'll go over to Eugene for 2 or 3 days, interview as many as I can. If any of them are willing, we'll get footage of them working out, footage of them, talking about diet and nutrition, maybe, just for visual interests, see if I can talk any of them into actually cooking their favorite meals on camera so I can get shots of that. Anyway, that's that. The third I've reached out to is Yvan Cournoyer. I don't know if I've mentioned him before. He was a fitness model years ago. He is one of the people who I remember, forget where I was, bodybuilding.com or some fitness forum somewhere, seeing his photos was he was one of the many people who got me excited about what could happen if I focused and worked out, how I could look, how strong I could be. I discovered him last year, discovered that he's alive and well, and just up in Vancouver, British Columbia. It's a bit of a distance, but it's not unrealistic. I can get to Vancouver about as fast as I can get to, Sacramento, California. It's not all that far away. So I have had a conversation with him last year, but again, it was a busy summer, didn't have any money. So I've reignited that conversation. Have not heard back from him yet, and we'll see what happens. He's not on Facebook much these days, I noticed, so I may have to reach out to him via his website's email address. That's the story there. What am I down to? 4 minutes? Okay, well, the main topic, in quotes, for this video was going to be, we've already talked about many books that I am interested in turning into films. And I want to share this because this is an amazing, astounding book. I was made aware just last year of an event in World War I that took place in Halifax, Canada, called the Halifax Explosion, where a warship loaded with munitions were they called Allies in World War I? For us, the good guys, to take over to Europe to help fight the Kaiser in Germany in World War I. And it had an accident. It collided with another ship in the Halifax harbor and exploded. And the explosion was massive. It was so potent, so powerful, that Robert Oppenheimer, would later study the effects of it to see what a nuclear bomb would do. It was huge. And I learned about it through a little essay. It took about 5 minutes to read online that I just came across one day in one of the random things that the Facebook algorithm decided to throw at me. And I went, that's quite interesting. So just a couple months ago, I decided to start looking for a book on the subject. And through my wife's help, she's very good at going to Goodreads and finding which books have the positive reviews. She recommended, let's see if it's kind of overlit there, The Curse of the Narrows. And Laura MacDonald is an astounding writer. She knows how to make it utterly captivating. I may just at random find other books she's written, even if I don't even know what topics they may have been on, and just read them. Chapters 1 through 3 detail the build-up to the explosion. Every single page just said to me, this is... She tells it in this very visual style. It's very easy to comprehend. It's so cinematic. We've been through it. I think about everything I ever presented to you in the episodes where I talked about the books and plays that I'd want to adapt into film. There's something fantastical about them. There's something comical about them. There's something magical about them. They would all be films where you left the theater feeling better than when you went in. You had a good time. Everything was great. I have never been interested in any historical event, in directing a historical event. I don't know what it is about this event. It's not just this book. This book is making it even more interesting, but there is a part of me that if Hollywood called up today, as inexperienced as I am, as terrifying as the prospect would be, if Hollywood or God, and they aren't the same, I'm not equating them, but if either one called up today and said, Brian, the Halifax explosion is yours for the taking. Here's the budget. Do you want it? I would say absolutely yes. I don't know what it's so gripping to read about it. I would have to do the Kenneth Branagh thing. When he did Henry V, his first feature film, he had not directed films before, so he surrounded himself with experts, an expert cinematographer, an expert costumer, an expert editor. That's what I would have to do. I would have to surround myself with expert production designers, art directors, historians, special effects artists, so that they could all say, yeah, we can do that. While I sat back and went, okay, I'll go work with the actors. Wow. I envisioned talking about this for 15 minutes, but I think that's probably all I really can say. I recommend the book. Total side note, has nothing to do with my making my own feature film. I recommend the book. And wow, Hollywood, if you're listening, there's this guy up in Oregon. You have no reason to trust him with a project this big, but he'd love doing it. Okay, got to go. That's time. And see you next week.